I'm pretty bad at Pokemon, but somehow even worse at Terraria. Despite that, today I'll be playing the Pokemon alongside my friend Ben, who before today has literally never played Terraria. I'm sure it's going to go great. As you can see, we've got our regular guide, Ryan, but also a new NPC, Professor Oak, who, if we talk to, will give us an option for 1 out of 3 starter Pokemon. And I've been given the option of Charmander, Chikorita and Totodile, 2 out of the 3 Generation 2 starters. You can re-roll if you want, if you don't like the options, but I'm going to go with a Water type. Now, this entire world is Pokemon. As you can see, if I begin to break these trees, orange berries and apricot seeds will fall, which helps us make Pokeballs later. There's TMs scattered across the world, and there's almost the entirety of Generation 1 catchable. As you can see, I can throw my Totodile out and he'll run alongside me, and the cool thing is, they'll even help you battle any mobs you encounter. There's a Vulture right here, so I'm going to test the battling system and let Totodile get his ass. As you can see, he's tackling away, and as we win more battles, it'll gain EXP and learn better moves such as Water Gun. There's also a Cyndaquil right here, so let's catch this little guy and whack him with a Pokeball. And it didn't catch. Oh well. Unfortunately, Pokemon can't battle each other in this game, so you just have to skewer them yourself with a sword, just like the anime. And now he's on red, I'll throw another ball and miss, apparently. But second time's a charm, and there we go, we've got our first new member. I spent some time scoping the land searching for more Pokemon and saw my friend get killed quite a few times before finding a Magnemite who I added to my team, which was coming together quite nicely. I decided it was time to go mining and geared up with the latest wooden armour, leaving Ben to create the housing. Only after around 10 minutes of digging in darkness did I get the genius idea. Well, to be honest, Ben told me to send out Cyndaquil to use his flame to light up the caverns. This made everything much easier, and I scooped up a collection of ores and equipment. But then I was jumped by an Eater of World. With a mix of Cyndaquil's tackle and my very useful wooden sword, we killed it, and luckily it dropped an ancient shadow helmet, which was definitely an improvement on my wooden helmet. Unfortunately, Cyndaquil got pretty hurt in the fight, and I had to use my orange berries to heal the little guy. I'm going to have to work out how to make potions later. I spent some time flailing in the water like some throwaway Magikarp, but luckily I kept up ringing to life crystals. It was pretty clear that these were going to be a necessity, as I'm pretty sure Ben had died to every single enemy he'd ran into. I was half expecting to see slain by a bunny show up at one point. After this long mining session, I decided it was time to head back and see what monstrosity he's created for our house. Classic first ever Terraria house, although I'm not sure I've ever seen someone use tiki torches before. But I decided to teach Ben how to mine, so he set off towards the jungle and ran into an Abra on the way, who he instantly called dibs on. He skewered it with his wooden sword a few times and accidentally hit a Rattata and some collateral damage before trying to catch it with his final Pokeball. Just in case you missed that, he threw the Pokeball the wrong way into the Rattata, leaving him to stand there in shock for a few minutes. Well, at least the Rattata caught, but it seems like he'll be missing out on the Abra. After digging down from one of those big trees, we found ourselves in a big spider's nest full of wall creepers. While watching the water drain, we decided the best course of action was to send our Pokemon down to do the fighting whilst we stood up there drinking tea. But they seemingly disagreed. My Cyndaquil tried his hardest to climb back up the water. Ben got pretty sick of his pussy Totodile and launched his Tangler down the hole, who instantly started fighting like his life depended on it. I tried to throw Cyndaquil down, but accidentally threw a bomb at my feet. But you know, as they say, 9th time's a charm, I finally got my Pokemon down there. Unfortunately, he pretty much got insta-killed, so I decided to send my Magnemite down, who somehow died even quicker. To be fair, he was level 2, which I did not realise until after I sent him straight to his death. I sent my Totodile back down as I began mining down on the left towards broke through, and I had to scale my way back up. Ben now decided to try and throw glow sticks down to illuminate the darkness, but just watch and see what I'm dealing with here. Although I'm not much better. As I tried to break the blocks to make the glow sticks fall, I accidentally destroyed the ground beneath us, sending us both into the spider pit. We both instantly got jumped, and unfortunately my wooden sword wasn't enough and we were quickly slain. I had now decided I'd use my wooden sword for long enough and decided to get one of my favourite weapons in the early game, the Blade of Grass, so he instantly set off towards the jungle, seeing more and more new Pokemon. We then encountered a jungle slime, and with the help of Cyndaquil we defeated it, pushing my Pokemon up to level 14, starting the evolution animation into a Quilava. which I didn't notice for like a solid 2 minutes until Ben pointed it out. Man, we are really not meant for this game. We carried on walking until we had finally found a cavern, but unfortunately we didn't last long at all. Ben died to something ridiculous, but I didn't manage to capture it, and my death was somehow even dumber. I pretty much just jumped off this big ledge, leaving myself with 1 heart, which was quickly gone as well. Despite that, we had collected enough spores, vines and stingers between us to create the weapon. Back at the house, Ben continued creating his council estate building to accommodate the endless NPCs moving in, as I turned the ores into armour and weapons to give to us both. Watching this, I'm sure there's a few utterly bewildered at how terrible we are, and I don't even really have much of an excuse, unlike Ben. I've literally had this game for around 8 years now. It was time for me to replace my trusty sword, and I created my blade of grass. Just look at that thing, absolutely beautiful. After Ben had creating a few more rooms for the house, I turned the leftover wood into platforms and began creating an arena beside our house awaiting nightfall. After all this prep, it was now time to face the Eye of Cthulhu, the easiest boss in the entire game. I made a suspicious eye, a spawn item, and waited until night before finally unleashing the beast. He came charging in, so me and Ben shot our collection of fire arrows and javelins at the guy, whilst our Pokémon, a Poliwag and my starting Totodile, peppered him with water guns. It became quite clear that we had likely overgeared for this dude, as Ben wasn't even having any trouble. I used my cloud in the bottle to just simply double jump over all of his attacks before continuing to attack him with my javelins. Not long after this, he entered his second stage, which makes him fly around much quicker. I was worried Ben might struggle to dodge here, but using our arena, he pretty much just strolled out of the way nonchalantly while shooting his silver bow. By now, he was very low health and spent most of the remainder of the fight in the dirt away from our arrows, but every time he stepped out, a hail was falling on him. Upon defeating him, the Cascade badge was dropped, which made us realise we had gone wrong. In case you've never watched Pokemon, the Cascade badge is from the second gym, after the Boulder badge, meaning if the Eye of Cthulhu dropped the second badge, we likely did the bosses in the wrong order. This turned out to be correct, as we were supposed to defeat King Slime first, who would have given us the Boulder badge. Regardless, I learned that using these badges we can create trainer clothing that will increase the level of Pokemon in the wild and the max level of mons that will actually listen to us. I had a really good time playing this game, even if we did make a massive mess out of it overall. Hopefully this video does well and I can continue to show us barely dragging ourselves through easy mode. God knows how we'll cope after the Wall of Flesh.